welcome to Anne-Marie's Workshop. My name is Anne-Marie and I like to make things. If you like to make things too, please like, subscribe, and share. This is my Fridaysews video about what's happening around the workshop. But before that, I'm going to go ahead and address the forum question that's presented by the Fridaysews Creators Group. This week, the topic is, where did you learn to sew? Have you taken any classes to learn to sew? Or do you teach it? Did you ever teach a class? Now, I have to admit, the first class I ever took was at Jackie Robinson Junior High School, 6th grade home economics in Brooklyn, New York, when I was 11, maybe 12. I'm not sure. I think it's 6th grade you take home economics. Anyway, I learned the parts of the machine. I learned how to sew a jumper. It had a little bib top and straps in the back, and we were all going to make one, and then there was going to be a fashion show at middle school. Horrors. But fortunately for me, I had an Aunt Yvonne and an Aunt Hyacinth who were avid sewers. So after she helped me with my jumper, and so I consider those my first lessons. After that, the passion to sew started in me, or to create started in me, and my mother purchased a sewing machine from the Singer Sewing Company, and with the purchase of the sewing machine came free sewing lessons. And so she sent me, and I walked down Flatbush Avenue to the Singer store. I think for maybe 3 or 4 Saturday mornings, I went and they showed me all the basics of the machine and how to sew a seam and things like that. And so I guess that's another formal class that I took. After that, I didn't really take another class until I was in my late teens, maybe verging on, maybe 19. I'd gotten a new sewing machine for my then fiance, and for my 19th birthday, and I wanted to learn how to design patterns or to alter patterns to fit my apple shape, because even though I was much slimmer then, I still had a very, very short waist, and most things fit kind of funny, other than dresses and things like that. So I signed up. I wish I could find the box, but it was a huge place, and we all went there and we learned how to make a sloper. And I made a sloper for my body, and the kit contained a French curve, pattern tissue, and everything, and you learned how to make a sloper for your body. But I don't think I really connected to how powerful that is and what that meant and what I could do with it. But that was a formal class that I took. After that, as you all know, I'm a quilter. A lot of the classes I took after that point had to do with my quilting guilds. I belonged to the Lake Jackson Quilting Guild. At one time, I was attending the Kingwood, Texas Quilting Guild, and another time the Aliquippa Quilting Guild in Pennsylvania. And they would always have guest speakers who would come in who were promoting a book or a device, and they would have something to teach, like how to do invisible applique work, or terpunto, or piecing, or how to put the back of your quilt together. Those were all the sewing lessons I got were from the quilt guilds. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna have to credit YouTube with also being, for me, like a class, because that's where I came into all those makers like Mimi G and Viv, Mom Sews, and all these other creators, and Lydia Naomi, and people like that who have given me different techniques, because the classes, you'd think I'd learn to turn that alarm off. I'm so sorry. But they all gave me different hints, and they continue to. You know, I just recently learned how to do shearing with bias tape. So, because I bombed at shearing in the elastic stitching my machine just does not want to do it. And I just was not happy with the results, but the bias tape shearing is something I can do. Anyway, I digress. So those are some of the classes I continue to believe I take. Now, I think the only classes I've ever taught were I showed Girl Scouts. We would do a vest, we would do something small, and I taught little girls how to sew in that venue. That's about it. All right, so let's get after what's been going on in the workshop. Now, as you may know, I'm continuing to work on my sewing makes. I have had a few hiccups. First of all, I had ordered extra fabric to complete my son's robe in a beautiful plaid. Hold on, let me look for it. So it came, it's beautiful. I had already cut out the pants, and I have done this before, you all. I had a 1 yard piece left over, and I was supposed to be making, I was supposed to be making these pants, and I had a 1 yard piece left over, so I cut these out. Such a mistake, because when I ordered, I didn't have quite enough to do the robe on this McCall's 3019 that I bought on eBay, because my original was empty, a victim of a culling and a move to another country, and so the envelope was empty. This is not enough that I ordered to make this robe, but it would have been enough if I'd had that other 1 yard piece. I could have cut the sleeve on that. So I ordered three more yards from Melanated Fabrics. Shout out to Mimi G and Brittany J and all the new things that are going on there. And unfortunately, they wrote back and said, we've got 1 yard. We've got 1 yard, and would you like a refund or other fabric? And I was like, so glad this is happening in August and not November before Christmas. So I said, please send me that 1 yard that you have left, which will cut the sleeve, and then this can cut the body. And I have enough scraps to do the pockets and the belt. But whew, good thing I started on Christmas early. Now this week I finally finished. Oh, I'm not finished. I finally finished most of my loungewear gifts for Christmas. I finally hemmed, washed the burgundy version. It washed, and it was still beautiful. I was worried that because it had so much dye in it, I was worried that when I washed it, it was going to change the hand of it or the sheen, but it didn't. It was just still beautiful. And I think this will show up in my makes video that comes out next Wednesday. My machine is still pink or fuchsia. I have bleached it once. It's light pink now. So I'm going to bleach it again and hope for white. Cautionary tale about pre-washing. I know better, but I didn't do it. And now I've got a pink machine or a fuchsia machine. Anyway, so the last set of this pattern, the last set was for me. I had made the robe, the romper, long romper, the short romper, and what had happened was I was missing the inside facing that would show on the inside of the lapel, inside of the collar. Couldn't find it anywhere, so I had to go to my gumdrop pillow. I'll show you a gumdrop pillow over here, hopefully. and I had to unstuff one, and there were all the remnant pieces, and I cut them out, and so I was able to finish the robe for me in the white and the short romper and the long romper. So all the hems are done, and so this, I guess I can give it to myself for Christmas. But they're all done finally, and they can move out of my workshop. So this week I started cutting out the Etta pattern for Merchants and Mills. I'm still hemming and hawing about the short sleeve or the no sleeve of this relaxed wrap dress. I've cut out part of it so far, just one piece of the skirt. When I started to do this, there was a part 2 of pattern pieces. And so I kept looking, where's the sleeve pattern? Where's this? Read the instructions, Anne. So I have to, maybe sometimes today, print out the other half of the pattern pieces so that I can cut out the rest of that dress. So that's what one of the things I was working on this week. Another thing that I cut out this week was the Valley dress by Pattern Fantastique. It's a really interesting pattern, and I was going to cut it out in, one second. I was going to cut it out in this beautiful linen-like fabric from Fabric Mart, but I saw this unbelievable belt online at Walmart. You know, I'm a big fan of their scoop patterns. Y'all should check them out. Anyway, I bought a red belt. It's a red velvet belt, and I decided to try the Anthea blouse as a dress and incorporate some slits at the side so that I can wear that belt, because the whole world of belts is open for me, because with that addition to the side of a dress, if it's big enough, I can show the belt in the front and the back can be loose, and it's a good look on me. So I am working on the Annalie Anthea dress in this. I'm not going to get that far with it. I'll show you how I started. It's right there. I'm waiting on the belt to show up because I need to know how wide the space is to leave on the side seams. But I'm going to do the sleeve and have it all ready for that. But I digress. I had this beautiful tricolor poly blend, poly cotton blend that I had bought at Ping's Fabric in Mandeville. No online, no Facebook, no nothing. Whatever they got is what they're selling. So if you love it, buy it, because you can't order anything. You can go to the other Pings on the island and see if you can find it, but whatever comes in, buy it and go on about your business. All right, so I cut out the Valley dress from Pattern Fantastique in this fabric this week. Haven't had a chance to sew it yet, but I'm getting around to it. All right, so the first thing I finished is Butterex 5362, and this is that great print from Fabric Mart. I thought the motif was going to be smaller, but it's not. But I think it's beautiful, especially with this red seam binding, bias binding, and I just think it'll be a lovely cover up. It'll be lovely resort wear. It's very light. It's not really street wear in my opinion. It is special occasion and resort wear. And I know they're awful clean. The other one I'll show you over here. Love to wear it. Love to wear it. So this was one of my makes for the month, and I made it again in this beautiful border print from Fabric Mart. It seems like I have a lot of fabric marked fabric, but I don't. I got a lot of all types of fabrics, but these are the ones that are coming out. Anyway, I made it again in this. I thought this is wonderful resort wear. I guess I better get myself to a resort soon. Okay, now, this last one that I finished, it is the True Bias Ogden blouse, Ogden Cami. And I swear, I did not realize that this month is Ogden month. You know, I just love an Ogden Cami. I've made 4, 6, I'm not sure exactly. And I had this idea in my head. I was like, oh, I'm gonna take the Ogden Cami because I had this material left over, and I'm going to extend it into a dress because it reminded me of this other dress by Helen's Closet, and it looked just like this. So I made this. Then I happened to turn on someone's channel or on Instagram. It's Ogden month. And there are all sorts of reiterations of the Ogden Cami. They have them in tiers. They have them short. They have all sorts of things. I would like to do a jumpsuit because I'm crazy. I would love to do an Ogden jumpsuit. I have to figure it out, how to get the pant leg white, but I have to put a zipper in the front. We'll see. So, but it's not in my plans. It's not in my plans, even though it is Ogden month. Alrighty. Now, the very last thing, I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Issei Miyake passed away, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of his patterns that I have not made yet. I had a lot more, but some of them got left behind, or the sizes were too small. I bought them so long ago that the 2, 4, 6, 8, that's not me anymore. No matter how I extrapolate, it's not me anymore. So I might want to add one of these this month to my makes. I'll see how it goes. Just in a memorial. I love his designs. I love the things he makes. And so I'm going to try and at least do one of his patterns. Maybe sometime in the future. It doesn't have to be this month, but I will keep him in mind. But he was a wonderful designer. Okay, that's it for Friday. This evening, I am going to set up my factory and work on my Christmas aprons. I've got the complete series of Monk. So I'm going to throw that on my screen and make some aprons, some cute aprons for summer. So for Christmas. So I hope that you're doing well. I hope things are working great for you around your workshop, and keep making and take care. Oh, I forgot. See you next Friday.